The Road Warriors shoot to stay hot in Pittsburgh. We get you set for the Oilers and Penguins on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, Zachary Kubish, and Brendan. Don't call him Brendan. In studio with you, Matt Kassian, our game analyst, will be joining us in a few minutes from the satellite studios. We apologize for preempting and cutting into the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. And the boys will be back for their final hour of the show as soon as we finish up at 5 o'clock. The 25-12-3 Oilers taking on the 17-17-8 Penguins. Of course, text us 780-218-9999. You can also get into the nasty chat if you're watching on YouTube. And hit that thumbs up button. Of course, GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Hernan Salas, I know you were getting ready for this game on your show earlier. What is the vibe, and what were you hearing from the nasties and our viewers as well as the listeners when you talking up this game?
It's almost like, why play the game? Because the Oilers are going to win. Like, it's Pittsburgh shouldn't even show up.
Is that really the mood? I mean, there's a lot of reason to be confident.
I mean, there's a lot of confidence. I'm just being a jerk face right now. No, but I mean, we talked about trap game maybe in these the final two, one of them maybe. But the way the Oilers are playing, Tom, the maturity, you can see it.
Yeah.
So for me, it's. I feel like if the Oilers drop one of these, let's talk about tonight. If they drop this one tonight, it's going to be them costing themselves. You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
Like, it's the Oilers shooting themselves in the foot.
Yes.
I just can't see Pittsburgh outplaying the Edmonton Oilers. Now, Pittsburgh's special teams are really good.
Yes, they are.
Really good. So stay out of the box is the key for the Oilers, at least one for me. But yeah, I think there's a lot of confidence, especially the way this team has been playing. Look at that last game. That's probably their best game of the year for some.
Very complete. A lot to like about that game the other night in Boston. And for whatever reason, remember last week we were talking about this trip, and I looked at this game and I'm like, something doesn't sit right with me with this Pittsburgh game tonight. I hope my instincts are wrong. I'm wrong at times, not always, but at times, and I'll admit it. And this one, for whatever reason, I was like, something's weird about this. If they're going to drop the ball and shoot themselves in the foot, I figured it'd be tonight.
Yeah.
I hope they prove me wrong. I hope they turn it into a 5-game win streak. I hope they continue to stay perfect on this road trip and in 2025, and then they should be able to put it into cruise control on Saturday in Chicago. But you know, guys have been talking. There's a lot of parity. I heard Reid talking about the parity in the NHL. It has changed. It has changed in years. But don't take the Penguins lightly, even though you've beaten them 7 times in a row.
You can lose. In the NHL, you can lose any night to any team.
Yeah.
No matter where you are, you're in a rebuild, you're in a retool, you're a good team, you're a Stanley Cup contender. You can drop, and you're playing Sidney Crosby.
Yes, you are.
Let's be real here. But the Oilers have dominated them. Like, it hasn't been close. Tom, that first game in October when they won 4-0, it could have been 10-0.
Yeah.
Serious. And I can't remember. It was that young rookie who started in net, and he was outstanding.
The Swede.
For the first 30 minutes, remember? Until they got the first one, and then kind of it opened up. So for me, it's one of those things where it's the Oilers dominate. The Penguins are probably looking at this going like, come on, guys. Like, we got to turn this around. These guys kick our butts every single game. It's amazing the score in the last 7 games, 39-7.
Yes.
It's unreal. Like, you don't see that kind of dominance often because they're not close, Tom. That's the difference here.
Edmonton 4-0 winners in that game at the end of October at home. Last time they were in Pittsburgh, a 4-0 win. You'll recall that was on March 10th when the Oilers had a team shutout.
Yes.
Calvin Pickard got the start. He had to go off, got bumped into. Spotter tells him he has to go off. Skinner goes in, mops up for like a minute or two at the end of the period, and then they go on for the team shutout. Same thing happened the other night in Boston for the Oilers, except it was Skinner who started. Pickard came in for the 5 minutes, and then Stu Skinner the rest of the way. Edmonton, so their last 2 games against Pittsburgh, 4-0 victories. They've won 4 in a row in Pittsburgh. They've been very successful against the Penguins, like we talked about. And the last time they lost to Pittsburgh was actually in 2019, December 20th.
It's crazy.
I know.
Pre-COVID. It's a different world, boys. It's a different world.
Those guys were probably in junior high.
They were. Ace 96 says, if Pickard's in, it's 7-0 Oilers. So I just want to tell Ace 96.
Pickard's in. Well, let me get to the lineup, and I'll burst his bubble. Or do you want to say something to me?
No, you do it first.
I kind of want to hear what you have to say.
No. You give the lineups.
Are you sure?
Yeah, 100%.
And then you want to get to your question of the night?
Sure.
Okay, that's how we're going to do it. Are you annoyed by Ace?
No. I just want to throw some numbers because I feel like Skinner's still taking some unnecessary heat.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay, let's get into the starting lineup brought to you by South Fort Chev. Reserve your 2025 Equinox Trax and Traverse now. They will not last long. They've also got the best discounts on 2025 Silverados and won't be beat. See dealer for details at www.southfortchev. For the Oilers, expect the same lineup: McDavid, Nugent-Hopkins, and Brown. Draisaitl between Podkolzin and Arvidsson. Henrique with Skinner and Hyman. That line was really good the other night. Let's see if they can stay hot. Janmark with Kapanen and Perry. On defense, Ekholm with Bouchard. Although we had some conflicting reports earlier today from Pittsburgh, didn't we, when it came to the pairings?
Yeah.
Let's Ekholm with Bouchard, Nurse with Emberson, Kulak with Brown. We'll see if anything gets tweaked mid-game.
I think Knobloch did say, and it was confirmed by media that's with them, that it's the same lineup.
Okay,
that's
there
possible.
you go. No Ryan, no Stetcher for the Oil. As for Pittsburgh, Sidney Crosby between Ricard Raquel and Brian Rust. Cody Glass centering Michael Bunting and Antti Beauvillier. Kevin Haynes centering Drew O'Connor with Jesse Puljujärvi on the right side of the third line. Then Blake Lizotte down the middle. Matthew Nieto and Noel Acciari flanking him on the fourth line. Marcus Pettersson paired up with Chris Letang. Matt Grzelcyk with Erik Karlsson. Owen Pickering with Pierre-Olivier Joseph. Now we get to the starting goalies for the Oilers. 26-year-old Stu Skinner, 16-8-3 this season, 269 goals against average, 902 save percentage, 1 shutout in 27 games this season. Stuart Skinner versus Pittsburgh, 2-0 record, .99 goals against average, 961 save percentage, 1 shutout in those 3 games that he has faced the Pens. And then at the other end of the rink, it will not be Tristan Jarry. It will be 29-year-old Alex Nedeljkovic, who is 6-6-4 with a .322 goals against average, 888 save percentage in 17 games this season. Nedeljkovic versus the Oil, split between Pitt, Carolina, and Detroit. 1-2 record, .379 goals against average, 884 save percentage in those 3 appearances versus Edmonton. Lifetime. Do you want to say what you got to say to Ace?
Yes.
Before I get to the injury report?
It's to Ace and everybody who thinks that Skinner shouldn't be starting this game. In his last 13 games, he's 10-2-1.
Is that good?
2.01 goals against average.
Is that good?
928 save percentage.
Is that good?
I think that's fantastic.
That's pretty good.
So, we got to stop. But Andrew does ask, no, not Andrew, sorry, Jason, why Skinner tonight post-concussion? Can he start the next 2? To be clear, he was not concussed.
Did not have a concussion.
The spotter took him out to do the concussion protocol test. He passed it. He went back in. So, and you're not going to sit a guy after a shutout.
No. And then...
and he played really well.
He played really well. And I think they're going to they want to... Obviously, the plan is to give Pickard Chicago. And then you have Stu gets an extra day of rest between tonight's game and the LA game on Monday at home. Now, again, they had a day between games. If there was any issues with Stu Skinner and a potential concussion, they would have probably picked up on something yesterday or this morning. That's not the case. So he is good to go for tonight. That brings us to the Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy injury report. At Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy, we treat you like the pros. Our multidisciplinary team includes sports medicine physicians, along with highly skilled physiotherapists, strength and conditioning coaches, and massage therapists. Whether you're recovering from an injury or looking to enhance performance, we treat you like a pro using the same locker room approach trusted by the best in the game. For the Oilers, Alec Regula, IR knee, Vander Kane, LTIR abdominal surgery. For Pittsburgh, Evgeny Malkin, he is day-to-day upper body. I know they kind of had him as a game-time decision, but you had Penguins guest earlier.
Matthew Vincel.
And he was great.
He said out because he stayed after practice and did some extra work. So he goes, that usually means they're out.
That's a big-time indicator for sure. So no Malkin. Cody Glass goes in a spot centering the second line. Philip Tomazino on the IR lower body. He was picked up, I believe, off waivers from the Nashville Predators. All right, text us, 780-218-9999. And get into the nasty chat. Oilers and Penguins closing out the season series. Edmonton knocking off Pittsburgh 4-zip on October 25th here in Edmonton. Let's get to that question of the night. What do you got for us, Hernan?
Yeah, so it's, I don't know exactly what meeting it is, but it's McDavid versus Crosby. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most excited, 1 being the least excited, where are you in your excitement of Crosby versus McDavid at this point in their careers?
Always 10.
Really?
Always.
See, mine's dipped a little bit. Just because of the dominance. Crosby hasn't been overly good in these matchups. I'm at about a 7, 8, like where it's, I'm almost more excited to watch McKinnon, McDavid, Matthews, McDavid.
Really?
Yeah, so it's dipped a little bit for me, but let us know on the Nasty Chat or on our inbox, 780-218-9999 on a scale of 1 to 10.
Zedmo has 11.
Okay.
Very excited.
Because these games haven't been close.
No, they haven't, but it's just it's like the best player right now versus one of the best players and was the best player.
And the reason I asked, too, is because McDavid's in, what, year 10?
I believe so, yeah.
And Crosby's almost double
19,
that, if not.
20, something like that.
So has the excitement wore off, is guess what I'm trying to say. So I
don't think so.
I'm at about a 7, I'll say, for this matchup. And again, a lot has to do with the last 7 games.
All right. Well, I get that. The kid in me, I guess, when I see Penguins, Oilers, I'm like, oh,
that's fair.
Should be fun. And then it's like Crosby and McDavid, even more exciting. It's just, I think if you're a hockey fan, maybe the season series or the matchup series between these two teams has not been close at all. Obviously, quite lopsided, but I still am just like, I would like to watch that game tonight.
Because when's the last time we've seen the two guys, 97 and 87, go toe to toe, score? He scores a goal, then he comes back and scores. It's been, I don't think it's happened.
There's been games where they both,
yes, but not recently.
Yeah, you're right. Probably not in the 7-game stretch, but I don't know. It's a matchup that tickles my fancy.
Okay, that's fair.
If you will.
I for me, I'd go Colorado against Edmonton, that one, because you not only have McKinnon against McDavid, but you also have Makar, and then you have Leon, if you want, against Rantanen. And all 4 guys are just elite of the elite, right? And they... Not saying Sidney Crosby's not. He's one of my favorite players of all time.
He's still having a great season.
He's over a point per game. I'm just saying that game probably excites me more than seeing this Pens team. And in fairness, too, maybe, Thomas, because the Pens are fighting for a playoff spot. Mm-hmm. They're in a retool, I guess, whatever you want to call it.
Crosby, 44 points right now.
Yeah, he's been unreal, man.
I like it. What say you? 780-218-9999. We've got Matt Kassian coming up shortly. The Oilers and the Penguins. And then fire up the question of the night. What, on a scale of 10, do you give this matchup at this point of the season? Actually, at this point in general, in terms of where these two teams are, where these players are at. Unfortunately, doesn't look like any Evgeny Malkin tonight. Rip City Step getting in there. Are you getting in?
No, because I said, how can you sit Skinner when he's coming off a shutout? And then Rip City Step said, Picker had a shutout too.
Oh, yeah. Team shutout. Team shutout.
Yeah.
Stanley in YYC says, good afternoon, gents. Listening to the show as I'm at the dreaded dentist for the cleaning. Just take care of business tonight. Hopefully 53 gets a 4-game point streak going. Stanley in YYC talking about Jeff Skinner. Yeah, he's been better lately. That line, I really liked them the other night.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a similar effort from that line, and hopefully Jeff Skinner can continue to put up some points here. It's great to see, man. He's been through a rough first half of the season. Hopefully he can turn it around here in the second.
Skinner, a goal and 2 assists in his last 3 games. All right, I see Matt Kassian is standing by. He is at his satellite studios. We're going to bring him in for Game Changers here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Of course, Game Changers brought to you as always by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting, a consistent top producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. He's community driven, understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. So check him out on DamonBunting.com or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Good afternoon / early evening, Matt Kassian. Great two guys and a goalie earlier today. That show is fantastic. And your co-host, Joaquin Gage, I think he just walked out the door. He's been hanging out playing video games and such. He was cooking food. It was great. What would you say to the question of the night, Hernan? What would you just fire it to Cass one more time?
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being obviously the most excited. How excited are you for the McDavid Crosby matchup in 2025, Cass?
Yeah, I'm at like an 8.5 because it's still just one of the marquee matchups. I'm not all the way to 10. I kind of side with you, Hernan. Like I want to see the McCarr-McKinnon matchup with McDavid. Like that one really excites me to see those guys go at it. But it's still pretty high. One of the best players ever in Sidney Crosby. One of the best players ever in Connor McDavid, and one of the best players right now in Leon Draisaitl, which is a blast. So it's still really exciting, still lots of fun for me, even though it's been a little lopsided Oilers. So yeah, I got to go with a solid 8.5 out of 10.
I'd say that's pretty excited. Cass, your hair does look on point today. I heard the boys talking about it when I was driving around.
Yeah,
earlier.
Yeah. Sam did a good job. She crushes it. So
does she use Swedish hair cream like Chantal?
No, she doesn't. Yeah,
okay.
she's old school, old school. But yeah, just especially with fades, just knows her stuff. She's real good.
Do you guys get like when they do the kind of with the roller brush and the what's that thing called?
I don't know what you're talking about.
A blow dryer.
Holy smokes!
Yeah.
I don't get.
You know when they do it, and then your hair looks really straight, and they slick it back.
No, but you were being laughed at mercilessly by the boys on the production side, and rightly so.
You guys have never got that done.
I don't think
I've had it done, maybe, but not normally. No,
when they're done, like they comb your hair and they kind of with the they just kind of roll it back so it goes nice and straight. You never had that. Never mind.
I look like a tennis ball when my hair is cut really short. Just boing.
But not short. Like it would be perfect for your hair.
I'll trust you. I trust you. I don't know.
Anyways, moving on.
Anyway, okay. let's get into Game Changers, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Matt Kassian, our game analyst, with us here on the pregame show. All right, Cass. Oilers and Penguins. Point number 1 tonight. Speed kills.
Yeah, I think it absolutely is lethal, playing the game fast. Now, generally it's lethal, but even more so against an aging Pittsburgh Penguins team that guys, they just don't have the speed that they used to have. They're not as fleet as foot. Their defensive core struggles a little bit to keep up with high-paced games. We know they're a middling team, maybe push for a wild card spot, maybe not. But, Letang isn't as fleet as foot as he once was. Karlsson, the same thing. They don't have the same sort of jump that historically the last 10 years we think of the Pittsburgh Penguins, we think of a team, or 15 years even, that's really fast, that plays quickly, and they just don't have that same type of jam. And I think it's a group that really struggles defensively against that north-south speed, a super important game for the Edmonton Oilers. And we saw them do it well against Boston. I mean, they did a lot of things well in that Boston game, but when they're attacking with some pace, it's going to give this Pittsburgh team fits if they can play with that up tempo. I don't think Pittsburgh can skate with Edmonton, which, we all kinds of comments all the time we get about the Edmonton Oilers and how they're not the fastest team in the league. And I get, if we look, top to bottom, they're not the fastest team in the league. True. But with the individual players they have, McDavid, Draisaitl as example, those guys playing at a high pace of play in terms of speed and moving the puck is going to give the Pittsburgh Penguins absolute fits.
You want to add to that?
No, I mean, it's the way, and we talk about playing fast, is moving that puck, the defenseman.
Yes.
And I think they did a great job against Boston. So expecting the same tonight for sure.
You're thinking about blow dryers right now, aren't you? Let's go to point number 2.
He's researching them. Yeah, he's
exactly.
buying a new one.
Let's go to point number 2. Game Changers, Skinner momentum. And Cass, believe it or not, or unless we're talking about Stu, but I feel like we're talking about Jeff. There was some text being like Stu Skinner or something.
Why isn't Skinner? Why isn't Pickard
starting? Anyway, I'm guessing we're talking about Jeff Skinner momentum.
Well, funny enough, we're talking about both Skinner. That's why I left it and I didn't put a first name in there.
Finally.
Yeah, both Skinner, both of them. We're going to talk about both. I mean, on the Oilers side, I mean, I can't believe people are like, well, do you think you should keep him out? Like, I mean, guy just pitched a shutout, wasn't conkied. Yes, it was a big hit, and he had to go off for observation, but had a really solid game. Last 10 starts, 7-2-1. I think you guys already mentioned that as well. Save percentage, last 10 starts as well, over that .915 mark. Like, he's playing some good hockey here again, fellas. And I know there's a couple little blips post-Christmas, but for the most part, he has been rock solid, building that momentum. So for Stuart Skinner, the momentum is going and he is continuing to build. Now, Jeff Skinner, the other Skinner, as it were, I don't want to say lesser Skinner, but the maybe not as tall and well, maybe he's not talked about as negatively. Well, they're both, people jump on them, both of those guys, but
yeah, that's true.
Neither here nor there on that. He's heating up too, fellas, and we talked about it. And it's ever since I called, well, he got an assist, I guess, before, but called that goal that I wanted him to score against the Seattle Kraken. Well, look at him. He gets a few more minutes of ice time. That's the most he's played in a really long time in that Boston game. Puts up another assist, starting to gain some traction here, which is huge. You know, we've spent so much time, both, well, you guys too, on your respective shows, as well as me on Two Guys and a Goalie, and on this show, where we talk a lot about, well, you know, do you look to maybe see if you could find somewhere where you want to go and trade him, or, you know, should he be playing, or how much minutes, or how do you get this guy going? And he seems to be going a little bit now, which bodes well for him and bodes well for the Oilers. You know, if he is a guy that can find a home on that third line and can continue to build some of this pizzazz again, some of this confidence again, it just bodes well for him and for the Oilers. But he's building momentum, you know, riding that 3-game point streak coming in here, fellas. Great to see from him. Want to see more of it. And hey, big opportunity for him to step up and maybe turn this into a 4-gamer.
On Jeff Skinner, looking to make it 4 straight games with a point. The pizzazz you talked about there and the confidence. Like, Cass, are you like literally seeing him doing anything different, or has he adjusted anything that has led to the offensive success and the confidence from the coaching staff to bump him up from a 4th liner into a 3rd liner? Like, has he tweaked something? Has he had an epiphany of some sort? What do you think it is? Because a week and a half ago, we were talking about like, hey, maybe you just fire this guy off to another team and get him to waive his no move.
Yeah. I don't think he hasn't suddenly reinvented himself. Like, it's not that type, but it's making plays. Let me add something to that. Making the right plays with confidence. I mean, we had seen for a series of time, for many games, we call it 25 games ish, a lot of games where, you know, he'd have little flashes where he'd be really good offensively, but then he just, I don't want to call him a turnover machine, but he would make mistakes. Defensively, he'd make big mistakes. He'd turn over the puck offensively. He'd try to do a little bit too much in the offensive zone. And if you look at like that goal, that the pass on the Henrique goal against Boston, where it's like he picks up the puck behind the net quickly, decisively knows where he's going with it, and makes a cleanly executed play, which is something that we haven't seen time and time again this year. Like, he hasn't executed. Even if he's trying to do the right thing, it's like it hasn't worked, right? Like, where it's, you know, the pass is just a little off, or there's someone in the way and he tries to force it a little bit too much. So I would say he's making the right decisions, but he's executing on those. That's the bigger thing, is he's actually executing, particularly in the offensive zone the last couple games. He's been where he's supposed to be, but he's actually made the play happen as opposed to have it die on a stick.
I like that. I knew you'd have a good explanation and breakdown, because it's not like it just magically happens for guys. Sometimes it does, but not in this case. He's had to kind of work his way out of it and do the things right on the ice to get the trust of the coaching staff, like you articulated. Did you want to add to anything? Did you want to ask anything about Stu Skinner there, Hernan?
No, Stu Skinner, I threw out his numbers for the last 13 games. He's really coming into his own. Slow starter, I think we said, kind of similar to Evan Bouchard. And then I think we forget to, like, he's still fairly young when it comes to NHL.
3rd NHL season.
Yeah. So Skinner's been really good as of late. Last game he was outstanding, especially in the third period. So excited to see him get this start as well and continue to dominate the Pittsburgh Penguins. And then you'll probably get Calvin Pickard on Saturday, Tommy. But Stuart Skinner, I think if anyone's still throwing some shade at him, and I know a lot of it is
in jest.
Yeah. I mean, we got to give that a break because he's gonna have an off game sooner or later, guys. It happens to the best of the goalies out there. So Stuart Skinner, I don't think he deserves any slack right now.
He's playing well, and he gets to start tonight. Alex Nedeljkovic at the other end of the rink. It is Game Changers with our game analyst, Matt Kassian. Game Changers brought to you, as always, by Damon Bunting Real Estate, now with The Agency. Point number 1 was speed kills. Point 2, Skinner momentum, both Jeff and Stu. Point number 3, Cass, stay out of the box.
Yeah, and I don't want to disparage Edmonton's penalty kill. They have been very, very good. But the Pittsburgh Penguins, guys, for a team that's kind of middling, has a fantastic power play this year. Like, those old guys are snapping the puck around well. Now, going to be affected by Malkin, most likely not being in the lineup, not seeing him tonight. That does change things a little bit, but as you can, still really important to, in this type of game, to manage your sticks. Because as I said, really good power play, really struggle keeping the puck out of their net. They are worse, guys. Did you ever think that we would hear that the Pittsburgh Penguins are have the worst goals against in the league? 5 years ago, I would have been like, no, not a chance. 10 years ago, we'd be like, you're crazy.
Right.
But the reality is they can't keep the puck out of their net. However, they put the puck in the net on the power play frequently, running at the 5th best in the league at 26.2%. They have been on a pretty healthy tear. So for the Edmonton Oilers, again, I think your penalty kill has been great. Really important to play that disciplined game because, again, I don't think the Penguins can skate with you 5-on-5. I don't think they can play with you 5-on-5. I think you have a really good opportunity to outscore them 5-on-5. So stay out of the box, disciplined game, those offensive zone penalties. Not that Edmonton has been, I don't want to, not critiquing that because I think they've been pretty disciplined and they played well. And as I said, penalty kill has been good. But let's keep that going by staying out of the box and giving your killers every chance because Pittsburgh, they've been feeling on the power play.
Okay, penalty kill wise, Pittsburgh's PK is middle of the pack at 14th, 80.3% with 3 shorties scored. Edmonton, like we've talked about and Cass just pointed out, the PK has been pretty good for, I'd say, 2 months now. 2 straight months. It's been a really good PK. But guess what? It entered action today, 23rd in the NHL at 77.4. That just emphasizes how awful the penalty kill was for the first 5 weeks of the
50%,
season.
50%, guys.
It's
climbed
59.
23%. Yeah. It's climbed so much since then, which is a testament to that they've been doing it pretty good.
Yes.
But still percentage-wise is still down there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's nuts, man.
They've been lights out, man. It's been unreal. And the Oilers' power plays moved up to what?
10th heading into action today, 23.8%. I'm always curious about this, Cass. There's not going to be that many more opportunities for us and people in general, fans of the game, to say Crosby versus McDavid. And then how many times can I ask you, what's it like watching Sidney Crosby, either A, from the bench in a game, and B, if you happen to get on the ice with him? Because I marvel at how he continues to be this productive at this age. I shouldn't, because of how determined and focused he has been since he was, 10 years old, even before then. But we've known about it since pretty much then. Cass, give us a slight picture, an idea, a glimpse, if you will, to witness Crosby doing his thing while you're at ice level, or if you happen to be on the ice against him.
Well, I had one shift against him.
There you go.
It was to start the playoffs, second round when I was with Ottawa, and that was the only shift I had against him that series, which I think we lost in 5 games. We didn't put up much of a fight in that one. Crosby, and I remember one time, so this was the one play playing against him on the bench. It sticks out in my mind. It wasn't in the playoffs, but it was regular season when I was with Ottawa, and just seeing he made a play. So he caught a pass with, and it was Erik Karlsson that was out there against him, with Erik Karlsson stepping up against him, kind of right in front of our bench. So by their offensive blue line, he was in the first period. And you see him pick up the puck, and you see, we'll talk about McDavid too in a second, but his ability to spin off of players, like with Karlsson applying pressure and tight pressure, like had a good gap, close space really quickly, was basically right on his butt. So Crosby receives a pass, his back towards Karlsson stepping up, and he's right in front of his bench. The way he was able to just take that little bit of momentum from the bump of Erik Karlsson, kind of backhand. So he catches on his forehand, backhands the puck through Karlsson's triangle, uses the bump to basically turn and spin off and generate speed to step right around him as a defenseman stepping up. It was a magnificent play. And I say magnificent because it's like, there's not very many, if any, guys that can do that, especially at that. You're just the speed at which he did that, the way he was able to generate speed out of just from basically being at a standstill to having a guy bump him to making a play through the triangle, stepping around him, and ultimately turning into 2-on-1, didn't score, thank goodness. But being able to spin off of him like that was just ridiculous. Like he does things sometimes where you're just like, and still you see him, particularly in the offensive zone, where he is able to spin off of pressure, and there is nobody that can do that like him. When he has a puck on a stick and you are applying pressure and you are trying to engage physically with him, he uses momentum so well and his edges so well. It's just like he's just sitting in a well, tell my daughter who plays ringette, it's like sitting on a toilet. That's what I tell her. Like, what, you want to get your butt down, and it's like you're sitting on a toilet. That's how you want your legs. And he plays the game down there where he's just so low to the ground relatively to his size, like where he just sits down in a compact position, but then uses that and is explosive out of that. He's ridiculous at that. And getting to see that up close and personal was awesome. Like I said, one shift against him, and then I didn't see him again the rest of the series because I was either on the bench or in the stands or just getting a couple shifts against other guys. But he's ridiculous.
And that's a Norris winning defenseman. He's doing that too, which is insane. Now, listen, I've had the good fortune of being on the ice hosting skills competitions with Connor and then doing stuff from the bench and seeing those guys up close that way. I marvel at some of those little things in Cass, like, some people, I think most people who appreciate and know the game would be like, you know what, that would be a crazy little subtle play. And it is magnificent to see these guys do things that you really wouldn't think about doing, but to them it's second nature, how they take something that would be a disadvantage and turn it into an advantage, like being bumped off the puck by a defenseman, but actually you're using momentum and getting it through the D-man, creating an odd man rush. Are there a couple of other guys, like did Datsuk do that stuff? Were there ever a couple of other guys that did things where you're like, where did he learn that? That is bizarre and amazing at the same time.
Those elite level guys, they all do that to some extent and in their own way, right? Because they're all different. McDavid was actually, let me back up a little bit. It's not that we don't think of doing them, it's that we can't do them. Good point. we think of doing them and then we're like, no, that's a bad idea. I can't do that. I'm not going to be able to successfully achieve what I want to or hope to with this play. And I still do that sometimes if I'm on the ice. I'm like, try to do something because it's fun. But this time it doesn't matter. If we get scored on, who cares? It's beer league. Some people care. I don't care. I'm just having fun. All those guys could do it. I mean, I'll use Mikko Koivu as another example, and not even a guy who, for a lot of people, they didn't even necessarily have him in that elite level talent. Now I did. I got to play with him and watch him on a night-to-night basis. If Mikko Koivu in his prime is on a team that's not the Minnesota Wild that plays that ultra defensive system, the guy's putting up a zillion points. And if he had high scoring guys to play with that drove offense as well, he would have put up even more. But him was like, you would see what he'd do with his backhand. Now, similar to Draisaitl, and Draisaitl's a little different because this is on the passes on the backhand, but Mikko Koivu's ability to shoot the puck on his backhand to me was completely unparalleled. Like where it's like, how do you on your backhand get as much velocity and precision? Because the backhand's always a little wonky. Like you can, if it's on the right part, right in the heel, you kind of can control it. You know where you're putting it, but it takes an incredible amount of skill to masterfully do it. And he was a guy that did that. And, you mentioned Datsuk. I never got to play against Detroit because I was always in the press box for those games. Like every single time, but I get to watch them a lot. No, he was a guy that was just like, he was those subtle plays, like of finding lanes for passes where it's like, well, how did you see that 4-inch lane there and, pull a guy's stick. So you're moving with your body to get a guy to change his stick position by 3 inches. So you have a lane to get a puck through. That was where he did it. But those top end guys all do it. And that's why they're the top end guys. That's why they're elite and the best in the world, is because they can do things that other people just can't or don't think of.
Datsyuk, I remember talking to a few Oiler players at the time, and it was after they lost at Joe Louis Arena. Shocking. I was like, what's the deal with him? And I think it was Nugent Hopkins. Ryan Nugent Hopkins told me, he goes, for whatever reason, he has the heaviest stick I have ever played against. And like, listen, they're all using one-piece composite sticks, obvious. But Cass, like, he would get over top of you when you had the puck, apparently, and you couldn't, like, lift your stick, and and he would basically tie up your stick. And the guy was not big. I remember seeing Datsyuk, and I was like, that's it? And he was, like, skinny, but he was a magician out there. And like, big, strong guys would be like, yeah, that guy, I don't know how he does it, but I can't get the puck away from him when he's got it, A, on his stick, and B, when you're around him and he's trying to take it away from you, it's the hardest stick to play against. Like, to me, it blows my mind, those little things like that.
Yeah. And there, it's a gift, because it's not just your physical muscles, but it's ability to use your edges. It's a knowledge of leverage and physics. And yeah, it is crazy guys that can do that. It's awesome. Fun to watch.
780-218-9999. Get into the nasty chat as well. It is Game Changers, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate, Tom Gazzola, Hernan Salas, Matt Kassian, Brendan, and Zach inside the EST Global Studios as we get you set for the Oilers and the Penguins. I do have a text to get to, and I want to hear what both of you have to say about it. It's from Looney Len. I think he did voice to text here, so bear with me. Looney Len sending this in. Do you think the recent success of the Oilers has versus their slow start, if they were tired at the beginning of the year after the Cup run and now everybody's kind of in the dog days of hockey, are they all on the same level? I think that's what Looney Len is saying. If I'm interpreting this correctly, Looney Len, let me know if you can. If you're driving, please just focus on driving. But I think he's saying the Oilers going to the Cup final, their final game being June 24th, slow start. Do you think now that the league is in the dog days and everybody's played, half the games essentially or more, today's the midway point for the Oilers, that now Edmonton's catching its second wind and starting to pass by teams? How much do you put into that? You guys decide who goes first.
You go ahead, buddy.
I think there's definitely a hangover for sure. I think it took them a while to get their legs. You just look at the month of October, and it seemed like a few players were off and some slow starts and all that. But I also is it an excuse?
After the first month, I say no. I still say no. I said no back then too.
Because we can say this in Florida started hot.
No,
they were feeling a lot better because they won the Stanley Cup. But I think there's something to it. Sure, they played up until the end of June. Guys got 2 months off. The players probably took 3-4 weeks off, and then had to start training. And before you know it, they're back at training camp. So, and the coach alluded to it a few times, Chris Knobloch, saying it's hard to go from playing that big of a game and the pressure that was on, the excitement, to playing, game 3 of the regular season. So I think there was a drop off, but they were able to figure it out. It took them, like you said, a month to get out of that lull from losing the Stanley Cup Finals. But I think there's something to it. But like you said, I don't think it's an excuse we can use going further than a month.
Yeah, and Cass, now, and that's what Looney Len says. Yeah, he was driving and he did voice to text, but he says that's exactly what he meant. Is it like Edmonton now has caught its wind, and now that other teams are going through the doldrums, they're kind of sailing by them? How do you interpret it?
Yeah, there's a little bit of the hangover. I agree with Hernan on that they have. I don't think that's it though, because if anything, Edmonton, you're playing more hockey, which is why it's tough to repeat year after year for teams to win year after year. Like it's hard. And I know it can be done, Florida to the finals one year, win it the next year. It can be done, but it's really tough to do. I don't buy into that. I don't necessarily buy into that. Like the teams are in the dog days. Edmonton's in the dog days too. Like the players will be feeling the same things with that. So I don't know. I would say that definitely contributed to Edmonton's start to the season. But at this point, I don't think it's flipped to where now this is why they're beating other teams.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I have two more for you, Cass, via the inbox, 780-218-9999. If you got a question you want to sneak in for Cass, we got a couple more minutes with him. And this one is from Coach Mike, who starts off with a comment, says Pittsburgh gassed a 3-1 lead midway through the third, last game to Columbus. They ultimately lost in the shootout. By the way, Pittsburgh has lost 3 straight in extra time, 2 of those in the shootout. Coach Mike follows up with, I think the Oilers should roll tonight, and then says, it seems like the NHL/Rogers hasn't cared about this matchup. This game is a national game tonight, whereas in the past, this matchup has been a regional broadcast. Cass, and I understand where Coach Mike's coming from. Like, you want to sell this game. It is a Thursday night game, but how do you look at the way the National Hockey League has handled McDavid versus Crosby in recent years?
Yeah. I mean, you see other leagues bill games between their top players. I mean, if you're trying to sell it, then sell it in the States. Like, you want to. Now, the reality is Crosby is Canadian and McDavid plays for a Canadian team. So it's just kind of doesn't have the same pizzazz, as it were, well, maybe they treat it like that, but I don't know. I would like to see them do that more because it's just such a fun storyline. I mean, they talk about me still being in an 8.5 is you could try to get people up that ladder a little bit and get them a little bit more excited. I don't think they've done enough to bill it and to drive interest, as it were.
Not so.
Yeah, it's just another game on the NHL schedule tonight, Tommy. It's
it kind of is.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
But is it Thursday night hockey on TNT?
Could be. Yeah.
I'll check. But go ahead.
But I think like national media tunes into this game.
Yes.
They're intrigued by it.
Yes.
I think the casual fan probably not. Like they don't really care unless you're an Oiler or a Pens fan. To be honest, I don't think people in Calgary or Vancouver are watching this game. To be honest. So I think the NHL has to do it. But we've always complained about this. They don't market Connor McDavid correctly. He's been doing a lot more lately, but definitely they can up their game in that sense. But it could be, too, because Pittsburgh's not a top-end team right now, too, right, Tommy? Mm-hmm. So who knows? But, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. At least we'll be watching, and we're going to be entertained.
From what I can see, it's a regional game.
Yeah.
For both the Oilers and the Penguins. So I don't know. Like, I used to get annoyed by stuff like that, guys. Now I'm just like, And the other thing, too, is the schedule making is not easy.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's done by a computer, but there's a lot of parameters and variables that go into it, and sometimes it spits out a schedule where they blow having a pristine primetime matchup on one of the national nights, and this might fall under that, unless they thought Pittsburgh was just going to be a dog poop team this year, and we're like, yeah, we'll leave that for the regional, which is also possible. So that is something that I was curious about. Anyway, last one for you, Cass, and I love how Jason brings this up. Does Cass make what's her name? Shannon? No, Sam. Does Cass make Sam shave his neck like Tommy does to Chantel?
Yep.
After haircuts.
Yep.
I love it. It's just
not everyone. It depends. Like not everyone, but I'll do like the full beard trim, and because it gets a little scraggly, so she'll clean up the beard and then just clean up the lines so that makes sure it looks sharp. So yes, I do, and it's great. The hot shave is great.
Yeah, I don't do the hot shave. I just get like Chantel put shaving cream on my neck, and she'll hit it with the straight razor. Something about it just feels good. And then you're like, ooh, smooth.
Oh, you feel baby smooth. Yeah, it's nice.
Smooth. Cass, great stuff. As always, my friend. We'll catch up with you on the post-game show, all right?
Sounds good, fellas. Look forward to it.
There you go. There's Matt Kassian with Game Changers, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Collingwood Rob texting in says Crosby versus McDavid is like Spinal Tap, and how they said, turn it up to 11. Mine goes to 11.
Yeah, I hope it is. I hope it's, you hope you see like
I love
a
it.
hat trick from both and going toe to toe.
Two of the best. One.
And we're going to get a good look at future Oiler Marcus Pettersson.
Stop it. Stop it. Who knows? Who knows? All right.
It's Podkolzin versus Puljujarvi.
Who was talking about that earlier? I was listening
was.
while I was driving around. I'm like, who the hell? You said it. You guys had a great show today, by the way.
Thank you.
And I kind of chuckled and I was like, don't even throw that chum in the water. And you did.
Well, it's two guys that are, I don't even know what the proper word to use right now, but two guys that
Maligned.
And
Podkolzin's had more success, I would say, or won people over more on the ice than Puljujarvi did. Although Puljujarvi had some moments where he actually looked like he was putting something good together, and it just kind of fell off.
It's good to see him back up with the club.
Yeah, because it was last week where he got put on waivers, and people were like, should they?
Oh, there's many on the X machine saying, if the Oilers don't pick him up, they're morons. Let's just leave it at that.
Does he make Crosby better?
He might.
Is that why Crosby has 44 points in 42 games?
Could be. I don't think they've played. I don't think they've been on the same line.
What does that war chart look like?
The war chart? Give it to me.
Do not give it to me. Send it to Hernan. All right, let's go through the lineups one more time. You can text us 780-218-9999. Oilers and Penguins, of course, if you're watching. Hit that thumbs up button. Get into the nasty chat. We do have the final hour of the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne coming up at the conclusion of the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show for the Oilers. No changes to the lineup. You're going to see McDavid between Nugent Hopkins and Brown. Draisaitl centering Podkolzin and Arvidsson. Henrique with Skinner and Hyman. They had a good night in Boston on Tuesday. Janmark between Kapanen and Perry on defense. Ekholm with Bouchard. Nurse with Emberson. Kulak with Brown. No Derek Ryan. No Troy Stetcher. As for the Penguins, Sidney Crosby centering Ricard Raquel. He's had a few really nice snipes this year. And Brian Rust, second line center, in for Evgeny Malkin, will be Cody Glass. He'll be with Michael Bunting and Anthony Beauvillier. Kevin Hayes between Drew O'Connor and the aforementioned Jesse Puljujarvi. And then on the fourth line, Blake Lizotte with Matthew Nieto and Noel Achari flanking him. On defense for the Pens, Marcus Pettersson with Chris Letang. Matt Grzelcyk with Erik Karlsson. Owen Pickering with P.O. Joseph. The P.O. stands for Pierre-Olivier. Starting goalies tonight, Stu Skinner for the Oilers, 16-8-3 with a .269 goals against average, .902 save percentage, one shutout in 27 games. The 26-year-old is 2-0 lifetime versus Pittsburgh, .99 goals against average, .961 save percentage, one shutout in those three appearances versus Pitt. That might also be why they're like, he's playing them really well. Had a great game against them earlier in the season.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. At the other end of the rink, it will not be Tristan Jarry. It will be 29-year-old Alex Nedeljkovic. He is 6-6-4, .322 goals against average, .888 save percentage in the 17 games he has played this year. Nedeljkovic versus the Oil lifetime, 1-2 record, .379 goals against average, .884 save percentage in those three appearances. Of course, your injury report brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy. Regula and Kane for the Oilers. IR knee for Regula. IR abdominal surgery. LTIR abdominal surgery for Kane. As for Pittsburgh, Malkin day-to-day upper body. Philip Tomazino IR lower body. Hernan Salas, what do you got?
Joe says, isn't Puljujarvi in the minors on the farm? No. Well, he was sent down, but then called back up. So he's playing tonight by all accounts. So you get a chance to watch Jesse P.
Doing his thing.
Go toe-to-toe with Podkolzin. We'll see who wins the battle.
I like how you turn this into a thing.
It's
weird, but I like it.
It's probably what I'll watch more than Connor and Sid.
Yeah, you think they're going to be on the ice together
because
a lot?
Gino's out, so you can't go Gino Leon. So the next biggest thing is Podkolzin and Jesse Puljujarvi. So.
Huge.
And I know a lot of our Nazis agree because they love both guys.
They really do.
They do.
They really do. That is a valid point. All right, keep those texts coming in. Let's get Zach. I want to hear from Brendan a little bit too.
Yeah, let's get Brendan in here on the Ulster.
I'm not nervous.
Okay, good. He's got confidence. I can tell he's got a little bit of swag.
It's good to be nervous, though. It's good to be nervous.
I'm nervous right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Nate didn't get the numbers that you guys do, so
Oh,
it's all
appreciate
real,
that.
right?
we got to start somewhere. Hey,
Yeah.
I worked at Newcap News in Lloydminster for a while.
When I did
going?
it, but when I did a show at Nate,
What?
I always imagined that I had millions of listeners. So you always,
Really?
yeah. Didn't you feel that way? No, because you did, Nate. No,
I
but
did
you
not
did
do
TV.
a radio show at Nate.
You did TV.
I did TV.
Ah, you're one of those.
We had tens of viewers.
Hundreds.
I think we're stretching it there, but hey, we were on there. How's it been going, Brendan? I haven't actually had a chance to talk to you at all.
It's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's warm in this building. I've noticed
this
that.
studio is
Yeah.
quite warm.
Yeah, but minus that, it's been great.
Yeah. How's Zacticum doing? Because I think he's really excited to teach. Yeah, I can tell. Look at him. He's got a
Great
big
teacher.
spit-eating grin there. Yeah.
Great teacher. I couldn't ask for a better role model.
Oh,
So-
wow.
Gee,
Wow.
Wow.
Until Trev next week. Then
He's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
He's going to fit in. What's it like with having Gager in here and Dusty and Owanik and
everybody.
Reid?
It's all been awesome.
Okay.
You know
It's
what?
simple. It's kind of a not great radio answer, but no, it's been great.
You know what Trev's gonna say to you next week? Everything Zach taught you, wipe it from your memory.
Zach's like, yeah, that's right. That's
No,
right.
just kidding. Zach's brilliant. We love
Yeah.
him.
No, I just want to hear from Brendan. Well, very good. Well, welcome aboard, dude. This is my first chance to actually formally say welcome.
Thank
I
you.
said hello twice.
Yeah.
And I said, who was that guy at the start of yesterday? And I was like, oh, that's Brendan.
Is he on the hangout?
I actually wondered that at one point. And then Matthew's like, no, we've got our Nate student. I was like,
Yeah,
let's go.
great,
Well, Brendan, welcome aboard, buddy. Sounded good. You could hear he's got the good pipes, too.
He's got the chops.
He's ready to go. I could see he's got the confidence. He's going to be just fine here at EST. You're going to be hearing from Brendan a lot more as we roll on here and he gets going with us. And excellent to have another person on deck and ready
And
to
from
roll.
Nate, because Nate's like the best school when it comes to broadcasting. At least
It's pretty good.
in Western Canada, because everybody you see on TV or hear on the radio, a big majority comes from Nate. Man.
Nationally,
They do.
locally, yeah.
They do a
Absolutely.
great job. They do a great job.
Put another one on the board for Nate. Let's go, Ooks. Actually, all of us are Nate grads in here, hey?
Yeah.
All right,
Except for
represent.
Dusty. Oh
No,
yeah.
literally in this room.
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Brandon's not graduated yet. He has to do his
Oh.
practicum first.
Oh, of course you would bring that up. Why do
Well,
you
it's
got-
true. It's true. I didn't
just
get my
pumped
diploma.
Your tires.
I'm just being honest, man.
He's
He
got a
knows
pass.
it.
Yeah,
he knows
yeah.
it. He knows it.
Dusty has the final word, man.
Yeah. Don't worry, Owanik will help you with Chat GPT to pass that report you have to do. He's really good with stuff like that. I'm kidding. Great to have Brendan on board. Big Slam Nasty says the grasshopper Zach has become the sensei. That is a scary thought.
It is.
Wax on, wax off. Or
You don't
whatever.
even know what that means.
I do.
I'm kidding.
Karate.
Karate, yes, a little karate kid there. All right, Nat. So, final thoughts going into this Oilers Pens game here.
Yeah, it's gonna. I think the Oilers win, Tom, but I don't think it's a blowout. I think Pittsburgh's gonna come in a little bit angry. We've talked about it. 4 straight losses, the last 3 in either shootout or overtime.
Yes.
Where they've gained the point. So, a big loss with Malcolm being out, but I think they're up for it, and I think they're going to give the Oilers a good game. But I just think the way the Oilers are playing, the only way they can lose is, again, if they make their
They do
own-
it to themselves,
They do
right?
it to themselves. So I'm taking the Oilers in a close one today.
All right, so 39-7 in the 7-game win streak versus Pittsburgh. That's how much the Oilers have outscored Pittsburgh. The last 2 games have been 4-0 Oilers victories. I'm with you. I feel like it'll be a hotly contested, closer outcome. I think Edmonton ultimately wins, but for whatever reason, my spidey sense was tingling, and I looked at this game, and I was like, maybe I don't know, do they poop the bed in this one? I don't think so. Ultimately, they're in a good groove, but we'll see. I still think Edmonton wins. I do. I'm kind of going against what my intuition was telling me last week.
Your gut.
Well, I mean, we've had 3 games since that time, and Edmonton's played them all really well. I'm going to end it with this one from Stu. I'm going to float it to you, too. Stu says, how does it feel getting these practicum students that were born in the same year you graduated from high school, Tommy? I graduated 03.
Oh, boy.
Zach, what year were you born?
2003.
Oh, my God.
Same day that Call of Duty came out.
This is the same year I graduated high school. And Brendan? 2000. Okay, so he's a little bit older.
You guys have reached UNC status.
How does it feel, Stu? Scary.
Yeah, we getting old.
We
Well, I
getting
am
old.
too,
Yeah,
so that's
You know
tough.
what? UNC status. Let's live with it. Roll with it. Pretend to be cool, even though I'm not. That's how I feel about it, Stu. Yeah. There we go. All right. The last hour of the Reid Wilkins Show coming up. Next, Jay Milne and Reid, Zach DeCum and Brennan have got you covered till 6 o'clock. It's been a fun GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. By the way, live on location on Saturday at Boston Pizza Westgate. I'll remind everyone again on the post-game show. It's going to be a great time. Tony's got tons of great giveaways there. They got the sim golf, all that good stuff. For Hernan and Cass and Brendan and Zach, I'm Tom saying thanks for watching. Thank you for listening. See you on the post-game show.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
When I'm up, I can't get down, can't get down, can't get level.
Don't miss Canadian singer-songwriter Alan Doyle as he brings the East to the West, January 17th.
I said, hey, 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 it's just an ordinary day, and it's on your state of mind.
Get your tickets at River Cree Resort and Casino. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement, bet on it.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our city of champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Play more tables and games.
Play more tables and games. Make the most of your bad game. Oh, you want to, you need to, you know just what you've got to do. It's time to add some fun to your life. Make the most of your bad game. Play more tables and games.
Play more games.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Make a fresh start in the new year with Sentinel Storage. With convenient locations near you, Sentinel Storage is here to help you make space for everything 2024 holds. Sentinel Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
This is your chance to win big with the Split the Pot Lottery. Support the Capital Care Foundation to help Alberta seniors get the care they deserve and support more healthcare foundations across the province. With a grand prize draw that grows with every ticket sold, the jackpot is hundreds of thousands and just keeps getting bigger. Visit splitthepot.ca and buy your tickets now. Don't forget to pick Capital Care Foundation as your foundation of choice. Next jackpot is January 16th, license number 713959.
The Canadian Ice House is taking your sports experience to a higher level. Trackman golf simulators are now open at the Ice House, an immersive and realistic golfing experience in the heart of downtown Edmonton. Visit in-store or at thecanadianicehouse.com for details.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Hey, how you doing, everybody? Great job by Tom and Hernan and company on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. They will be back after the contest between the Oilers and the Penguins, which is about to face off. Jay and I will keep you updated on that one as we bring you the second half of the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. And, of course, the Oilers and the Penguins is our game of the night for Play More tables and games, from ping pong and pool tables to darts and dome hockey, plus all the classic arcade action you could ask for. Visit Canada's Game Room Experts, locations in Edmonton and Calgary, or online, playmoregames.ca. Well, that's one of our games of the night. Obvious to pick the Oilers game, Mr. Milne. What else are you looking at this evening?
Oh, the Orange Bowl coming up at 5:30, which we will not be watching on the ESTV. There's definitely more important games to watch, of which you just mentioned. Notre Dame taking on Penn State. Essentially a pick'em. The spread was 1 point. I believe it favored Penn State. But little tidbit. As I was looking during our break here, the Notre Dame team has had some sort of a virus or flu that they've been dealing with in the locker room. They say it's not going to affect anybody playing, but I would have to imagine that it will. So take that as you will. But yeah, love me some football. Semifinals, baby.
All right. I will also be keeping an eye on the Islanders and the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights have won 3 in a row. They're 9-1 in their last 10. So, I mean, I've been saying this, that you look over the last few weeks, 3 of the 6 hottest teams in the NHL are all out of the Pacific Division. The Oilers, the Golden Knights, and the Kings. So the Oilers are playing Pittsburgh. Golden Knights play the Islanders. Golden Knights coming into tonight's action 6 points ahead of the Oilers for first in the Pacific Division. I do think it's reasonable to think that the Oilers might have a chance to track down the Golden Knights for first. Still half the season to go, so we'll keep an eye on that one. And the New York Islanders not having a good season. They are second last in the Eastern Conference, ahead of only the Buffalo Sabres with a record of 15, 18, and 7. So my secondary game of the night after Oilers-Penguins will be the Golden Knights hosting the Islanders. All right. Are we connecting here on the ESTV? What's going on?
Reid, I don't know what to tell you. I know you were peripherally watching this and probably fretting. I don't know. I did everything one can do, but it's as if we've got a spinning wheel right now, folks.
We got a spinning wheel. Well, the game probably doesn't start for about 6 minutes, so that's okay. 780-218-9999 if you would like to text the River Cree inbox. And, of course, that is new sponsorship for us, River Cree Resort and Casino.
Hey, Brennan.
Home of the Kitchen Restaurant, all-you-can-eat prime rib buffet for just $49.99 every Sunday from 4 to 10 p.m. Jump into the Nasty Chat on YouTube and give us a thumbs up if you're there as well. We had, I think, 80 thumbs up in just an hour of the show that we did before. So let's just see how high we can get, even though the total reset at the start of the stream at 4 o'clock. And you can email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The Big Uke with an email. He sent us his limerick.
Of course.
Tonight, a battle out in Steeltown. Flightless birds are indeed going down. Connor scores 1. Leon scores for fun. Fans in black and yellow this weekend will frown. Also foreshadowing what he thinks is going to be a loss for the Pittsburgh Steelers on Saturday night against Les Ravens de Baltimore.
Wow. I kind of agree with him on that, sorry, but...
Ravens should win that game.
Ravens should win. Big spread. I think it's a 10-point spread.
I was surprised it was that large for a playoff game. But I guess, did not the Steelers lose their last 4 games? I think they lost their last 4 games.
I don't know. Say what you want about this game, but the Steelers are good year over year.
Well, we were talking about them as one of the identity franchises,
sure,
right? Like even their off years, they're usually not that far off. So anyway, something to think about. I got to read this, Jay, because it's a compliment to you.
Okay.
Ro Nelson says, is Jay Milne just a natural broadcaster having effortless chemistry with Reid, or did Jay have a show before?
Oh, wow. Where was that?
It's in the Nasty Chat.
I must be behind. Wow, look at that. Thank you. No, I never did have a show, and I appreciate you saying that this chemistry is effortless. It's pretty easy when you're sitting next to this guy. I'll just tip my cap to you there, Reid. lot of times you guys don't see it, but we hold hands underneath, and he'll tell me I'm doing good things or bad things.
I have very long arms, apparently. One of us
Go
does.
gadget arms.
Yes.
Thank you for
fantastic.
saying that. I've always wanted to do this my whole life, and now here I am.
Yeah.
Here I am.
And
Dream
imagine
big.
how much better you'll feel when you're off probation.
The end of February can
Is that
can't
what
come
it
soon
is?
enough. Well,
We
and
think-
it's a short
we
month
think-
too. I was hoping it was a leap year, but
Oh, you're hoping you.
I'm
you're
happy
you're
it's
glad
not a leap
it's
year.
not a leap
Yeah,
year.
I'm happy
Yes.
it's not a leap year.
All right. That's awesome. Hopefully we connect on the ESTV. If not, I guess I can watch on my laptop. But we would like to connect on the ESTV. Okay.
Silky Wilkie and Skills Mills taking over. That's tight, Lingus 99.
That's funny.
Beautiful.
That is funny. All right. Let's do, as we get the Oilers game against the Penguins going, let's do our afternoon debate. We do it every Thursday. It's presented by Edmonton Garrison Memorial Curling Club. If you and your team are looking for a fun and exciting way to build some chemistry, look no further than the Edmonton Garrison Memorial Curling Club. Located on CFB Edmonton, the Garrison Curling Club offers 6 sheets of ice, a full-service bar with kitchen, and includes all equipment needed for corporate bonspiels. And the Garrison Curling Club is run by Nasties. As an added bonus, they will offer 10% off ice rentals to all EST listeners. Email curling at EGMGolf. That's curling at EGMGolf.com and mention Edmonton Sports Talk to book your corporate bonspiel today. So the afternoon debate earlier today, Jay Milne, like an experienced broadcaster, said, Reid, don't you fret your bearded little head about this. I have a topic for the afternoon debate, and I will throw it at you, and we will turn each other loose.
I don't think your head's that little. I think it's quite normally sized.
Well, thank you.
You know, compared to your body, it's shoulder width.
Proportionately accurate.
Good.
That's
Yes.
great.
Well, I must admit, this was spurred on or brought to my attention by one Dustin Nielsen, our fearless leader, today during the lock shop. And it made me think because I know, and you alluded to it earlier in the show, you had asked, are the Oilers a top-heavy team? Is there enough depth scoring? So Dustin took the top 4 goal scorers from the Oilers and said, what percentage of the total goals are those 4 players scoring?
Okay, and I didn't hear this before, so
what percentage do you think?
Of all the Oilers' goals.
I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
No, this is great. So of all the goals the Oilers have scored this season, what percentage have been scored by, so who would the top 4 goal scorers be? McDavid, Draisaitl, I think Nuge would now be up there, and Hyman.
Yes, correct. Ding, 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 ding.
So those guys combined. Oh, well, Draisaitl scored so many, and the Oilers, I'll say 52%.
Wow. You nailed it. You son of a...
Thank you.
What the... Well,
I got a feel for things, man.
There goes the debate portion of this.
I got my Wilkie intuition. No, that's the quiz portion. There's still a debate portion to come. It actually is 52%.
It is.
Okay, and this was not set up, everybody.
No.
People are thinking, oh, they set it up. We might do something that silly sometimes. We did not set that up.
So the Oilers as a team have scored 132 total goals. Those 4 players you mentioned, you were also correct on that, obviously, but 68 of them have been scored by those 4 players. So I thought, okay, but how does this transcend to the other across the league? Or the Oilers glaringly at the top of the list as far as top heavy scoring?
Okay.
So I went and compared them to the top 8 teams in the NHL. So the top 8 teams as it sits is Washington, Toronto, New Jersey, Florida, Vegas, Winnipeg, Minnesota, and Edmonton.
Okay.
Out of those top 8 teams, same formula that I use for the Oilers, what do you think the average is for top 4 goal scorers based on overall goals scored by that team?
47%.
Close. 48.375.
Okay.
The Oilers are second when it comes to that. Toronto has the most top-heavy, I guess, goal scorers in the league with 55% of their overall team scoring is done by 4 players.
And that's with, is Matthew, well, he would still be part of that, but he's missed a significant number of games.
So Toronto's at 55%, and it goes down to Vegas is the lowest, 39%.
Not surprising.
But I said the average was 48.3.
This is of the top 8 offensive teams.
This is the top 8 teams.
Oh, top 8 teams in the overall
The
standings.
best standings.
Okay.
So when you hear that and you look at that, do you still think that the Oilers, not that you, I guess have stood on top of a mountain and shouted that the Oilers are a top-heavy scoring team, but what do these numbers do to that thought? Because it drops off significantly. The top 4 goal scorers for the Oilers are all in double digits. Then it drops down to Jeff Skinner with 7.
He's up to 7. Well, they've been, like I was saying in the first half of our show, they're less top-heavy than I was worried about maybe 5 or 6 weeks ago. Because we're seeing other lines be productive and we're seeing other lines apply pressure. As, by the way, 90 seconds into this game, the Oilers are already all over the Penguins. They've had 2 great chances. I got it up on my laptop here.
Okay, I'll put it on here too.
But, yeah, the ESTV is... Well, the TV's not letting us down. I think the internet connection or the cable connection is letting us down.
We got the Cube on it.
So... I think we have some Oilers who may not reach the career levels that they're associated with. For example, Adam Henrique, highly unlikely to get 20 goals this season. Jeff Skinner, even though he's playing better, he's got 7, so he's going to need 13 goals in the second half of the year. He may not get to 20. We'll see. But the interesting thing about the Oilers team is there have been 2 versions of this team. And I think that the team over the last, pretty much 2 months now is the Oilers team we expected. And a lot of stats from the first half of the season, or pardon me, the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season are so cripplingly bad that players and teams aren't going to hit the milestones you would have expected. Let's look at one of the team stats. From November, but by the time, because what's the day we're using? November 9th, the day 8th. They beat the 8th or 9th, the day they beat Vancouver 8-3.
Well, they beat them on the 9th, but we just went a day ahead.
Yeah, right. So the Oilers may very well finish the regular season with the best penalty killing in the NHL after November 9th. Yet they may not have the best penalty killing overall in the league. Maybe they won't even be in the top 5 because that start of the season, when they were 58 or 62 or whatever it was so cripplingly bad, they're not going to make that up, right? Even look at Hyman. He may score on a 50-goal pace over the final 60 games, but he was hurt and didn't score much for chunks of the first 20. But it's McDavid and Draisaitl are phenomenal, as we were discussing yesterday, and I think it's something we'll probably keep discussing. Leon Draisaitl may be having, I think he is having his best season so far in the NHL. We'll see if he keeps it going. Even if it's his second or third best season ever, it's going to be pretty darn good. McDavid is still having an excellent season. So, that doesn't take away from what those 2 guys are doing. They're still very dangerous. But like I said to you earlier this afternoon, Jay, I'm not watching Oilers games lately and thinking, nothing's going to happen until McDavid and Draisaitl are on the ice. There's push and consistency. There's responsible defensive play, and there's eager and energetic offensive play from the other lines as well, as the Penguins have opened the scoring after being shut out 2 consecutive games against the Oilers. I believe it's going to be Ricard Raquel jamming in a rebound to the left of the net, to the right of Stuart Skinner to put the Penguins up 1-0, 3 minutes and 19 seconds into the first period. The Penguins brought the puck in down the right side. Crosby had it. He threw it through the slot, missed everybody, went back to the point. He was kept alive for Crosby. He dropped it to the point. The puck came in, a shot from the blue line. Skinner shot out the right pad, and I think the puck was kind of in tight, and Raquel reached back and tucked it under the pad and in. I think Stuart Skinner had a brief conversation with the referees, probably lobbying to say it was covered, though it never was. To me, that's clearly a good goal. And the Penguins are up 1-0. Is this, who was it that, was it you or me or you or Tom were saying they were concerned about this game? And I said, okay, so you're concerned about the law of averages.
Yeah.
Right? 7 straight games, Penguins have scored 7 goals. And the Penguins actually they're not a terrible team this year. I mean, they're not great, but they are 500. They've lost 3 in a row, but they've all gone to overtime. They've lost 2 in a shootout and 1 in OT. So in this, and I was listening to some Penguin stuff yesterday. They're better, like the Oilers. They're better recently than they were earlier in the season when the Oilers beat them 4-0.
Bush didn't look too hot on that goal.
Was he playing campfire? I wasn't. I was watching where the puck was, so I haven't seen the replay yet again. Was he playing campfire defense?
Standing around a little bit, you could say. But, there's a lot of things that lead to a goal, obviously. Unfortunately for defensemen, it's they're usually the last line and the closest to the puck when it crosses the line. So how we doing, Brendan? Not good, eh?
Well, we're watching on our laptops. The ESTV. We'll keep trying to get it going. But anyway, the Penguins scored as I was answering your question. So no, I even though I was worried about it earlier and critical of it, I think the evidence would suggest that the Oilers, while they have 2 exceptional players who will win them games, I don't think the Oilers are a completely top-heavy team that depends on 2 or 3 guys for all the offense. I think that's changed recently.
Well, of recent it has, yes. So it'd be interesting to watch this number, though. So we're at the midway mark, okay, Reid? So just know at the midway mark.
Today's the Oilers' halfway point of the season. Yeah.
52%. So you obviously want to see that number come down. I mean, Vegas, that's pretty impressive because it goes 55 to 45, and then the outlier is Vegas at 39%. That is team scoring.
But that's how they're built, right? They got a good 4th line.
Sure.
They and that's the one thing I've always praised Vegas for. There's not really. I mean, Eichel's having a great season. I mean, every team has 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th lines. Theirs are a little more closely bunched in terms of the talent level. And that's not because the 1st line isn't that good. It's because their 3rd and 4th lines are quite good. I mean, that's a big reason why they won the Stanley Cup 2 years ago.
You got to have it. And I mean, when we went through the clips earlier, that was what McDavid was talking about.
Yeah. Well, look at some of the big goals that were scored. I mean, yes, McDavid won the Conn Smythe and had an insane number of points in the playoffs, but as we talked about, look how many goals were scored throughout the playoffs by Matthias Janmark or Connor Brown or Adam Henrique or Dylan Holloway. Or even Bush scoring from the back end. So, yeah, you need it. You need the high-end guys, but then you also need the support.
And that's not foreign to any playoff run.
Right.
Any team that has gone far and won the Cup has had those heroes. I mean, we talked about Fernando Pizzani today with Luke Gazdic.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a hero during that 06 playoff run.
Yeah, so we'll hopefully this is the change of something for the Oilers where they have a little more balanced scoring. And as I always say, even if the 3rd and 4th lines aren't scoring, it's not a step back when they go onto the ice. Like if McDavid's line and then Draisaitl's line generate something and have the other team on their heels a little bit, the next lines go out there and at least maintain that territory, even if they're not as gifted offensively to make plays and score. And I do think we are seeing that. The Oilers came out hot in this one, quite frankly. They had 2 or 3 good chances in the first 90 seconds, but the Penguins have the first goal of the game. Jay and I, of course, are coming to you from the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, the heavy hitters of injury law with over 200 years of experience. James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Visit them at jameshbrown.com today and book your private consultation. All right, we'll keep you updated on the Oilers and the Penguins. Pitt's up 1-0, about 6.5 minutes into the first. We will have our top 3. We'll have buying or selling for Damon Bunting, and we have our Marmot Basin ski report when we get back.
Six games are underway in the NHL, seeing the Oilers trail by 1 against the Penguins early in the first. The Bruins and Lightning scoreless, while the Devils lead 1-0 on the Rangers, seeing all 6 games in the first period. Later, we have the Maple Leafs meeting the Hurricanes, the Avs, and Wild, while the Ducks go against the Blues on a 10-game NHL schedule. And midway through the first quarter, the Raptors are down 12-11 against the Cavaliers. Well, the Timberwolves lead 17-11, and the Pistons are up 12-10 over the Warriors. Later, we see the Orange Bowl going down between Notre Dame and Penn State. This sports update is brought to you by Sit and Sleep. Transform your home at a fraction of a cost during Sit and Sleep's winter clearance event. For massive discounts on major sleep brands to unbeatable deals on Canadian-made custom furniture, Sit and Sleep's winter clearance event is a can't miss. Plus, enjoy free local white glove delivery and special financing to help you bring home the best. Visit Sit and Sleep in South Common next to Planet Fitness. Brian Rode joins us for the Marmot Basin Ski Report on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, and that was your sports update.
If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, protect your interests. They'll be there every step of the way to help answer your questions and help you get your life back on track. Trust Alberta's precedent-setting injury lawyers with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, call James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, 780-428-0088, or go to jameshbrown.com.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
When I'm up, I can't get down, can't get down, can't get level.
Don't miss Canadian singer-songwriter Alan Doyle as he brings the East to the West, January 17th.
I said, hey, 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 it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind.
Get your tickets at River Cree Resort and Casino. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement, bet on it.
Tommy Gunn's Barbershop is more than just a barbershop. It's a top-notch, tailor-made experience from check-in to check-out. Get a precision haircut, a classic shave, or a facial to step up your style. Just walk in, relax, and let Tommy Guns take it from there. Find comfort in knowing their team follows the code, which is their commitment to care for you as a customer. Check out Tommy Guns today, in-store or online at TommyGuns.com to bring out the best in you. Tommy Guns, where every cut is done right every time.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Congratulations to our practicum student, Brendan, for getting the ESTV working. And now it's very surreal to me. I'm going to tell you something, Jay, because my laptop is 20 seconds ahead of the ESTV.
How's it 20
and the guys
seconds?
out there, Tom, Pittsburgh's going to score again. Yeah, there's 12:38.
You're serious?
Yes, Pittsburgh is going to score here in about 11 seconds. Crosby behind the net to Raquel, knocked away. Crosby recovers it. Left wing boards into the high slot, and a wrister, I think, either goes off Kulak or Raquel on the way in, and it's 2-0. So not a good start for the Oilers. This might be the law of averages game where the Penguins finally beat Edmonton. So my laptop is about 20 seconds ahead of the ESTV, which is about 20 seconds ahead of the TV Tom and Hernan are watching. Sorry, guys. Tom's like, I don't even know who you are, Reid.
No,
I think
just
that
a nice
just went
shot.
straight in, short side on Skinner, probably partially screened on the play, as Penguins were getting the pucks quicker there and keeping it alive, so they have the early jump here on the Oilers. All right, let's get to our Marmot Basin Ski Report. Ski for half price every day with the Marmot Escape Card, only 99 cents at skimarmot.com, or get 4 lift tickets for the family for only $3.29, also at skimarmot.com. A great deal for families and only available online. From Marmot Basin is Brian Rode checking in. Brian, it's Reid and Jay. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, fellas. You?
Doing great.
Happy
Good.
New Year to you. I don't think we've seen you since the New Year. What did you get up to in the road residence this New Year's?
Well, we celebrate Christmas usually on Christmas Eve. I'm at the mountain all day on Christmas Day. So it's a busy time at the ski area during Christmas holidays. But yeah, we had a great Christmas Eve and New Year's. This year I just laid low, but it was a lot of people came out. So it was a good couple of weeks for us. That's for sure.
Now, Brian, as we get to know you and you get to know us and our listeners get to know you, more and more things come out every time we talk. But I don't think we've talked about, where does your allegiances lie in respect to the NHL and the NFL, CFL? Who do you cheer for?
Oh boy. Well, you know what? I don't get to watch as much sports as I'd like to, but I've always been an Edmonton fan. That's where I was born. That's where I went to school. And, before the Oilers came along and before the WHA, my dad would take me to Oil Kings games. So yeah, Edmonton's my hometown. And once an Edmontonian, I guess, even though I've been here in Jasper for 47 years, still consider that my hometown.
Would you say that most, although a lot of people that live and reside in Jasper may not be from Jasper, where they were born, but would you say that Jasper would lean more towards cheering for Edmonton teams on a whole?
I wouldn't say that's true. I haven't done a poll, but boy, it's quite a mixed bag here. You got a lot of people who are Toronto fans, and that's always been a mystery to me, but that's another topic. We've got Montreal fans here. Those are probably the two big, other than Edmonton and Calgary. We've got a lot of Calgary fans here as well. Or maybe just the ones I know are the most vocal.
Yeah, the vocal minority. We'll forgive them for that.
It's 3-0 Pittsburgh. They just scored again.
Jeez. Well, okay. It looks like we might see a goalie change then, eh?
It's not good.
It's not good.
You should change everybody.
You know what is good, Brian? The snow conditions up at Marmot. How's everything looking there? What do you guys? What do you see coming up? Is there any snow activity in the near future?
Well, I hope so. I mean, right now the forecast is calling for snow tomorrow night, and then into Saturday. Man, it can change fast in the mountains. They can call for 30 centimeters, you get nothing. They'll call for 2 and you get 30. So we'll see what develops. Snow conditions are pretty good. Quite honestly, not as much as we would typically have this time of year, but enough that we've got all of our lifts open. Most of our runs are open. Even the new knob chair is open. So there's a lot of good skiing and snowboarding to be had. The experts up at the knob for sure. There's still some loose snow up there, and otherwise the groomed runs are in great shape.
Now, as everybody knows, and it's become you just hear that, you hear this phrase and you know what you're talking about. Jasper in January is quite the thing now. So what does that mean specifically for Marmot? How is Marmot taking part in Jasper in January?
Well, I'll give you a little bit of history if you got a minute here.
Yeah,
so Jasper in January started out, way back in 1989, and it was Marmot Basin's 25th anniversary. Now, buckle up for this one. So what we did is we decided to charge lift tickets $10.25 back then.
Wow.
That was the price. And then the hotels discounted the rates. We had all kinds of great events going on. And then it's just gone every year since then. So what most people do, skiers and snowboarders, they come up, they usually want to spend their day on the slope. So that's what they're doing. And then in the evening, there's all kinds of events, right from starting Friday, the 10th, goes through until the 26th. There's always something going on. For the non-skiers, I was out the other day, last weekend. I took a day off and went cross-country skiing. It's in great shape. Jasper Park Lodge out at Pyramid Lake, the skating rinks out there are immaculate right now. I don't know if you've been, but there's a big loop all the way around the lake at JPL. That's in great shape. So lots of activities for skiers, non-skiers, tons of events. At Marmot, we've got live music on the first weekend and the last weekend, DJs on the other weekends, $25 for a burger and a pint. So lots of good deals in town and up at the ski hill, and just too many events to list.
Well, there was one when I was looking on your website, and it took me to what was called a poutine showdown. Now, I'm all for poutine. What is the poutine showdown?
Well, you know what? I knew you were going to ask me about that one. So That one is kind of do it at your own leisure. So all the different restaurants, including Marmot Basin, have their own special poutine, and they just invite people to come try these different. Now, if you can get down more than a couple, then you can judge, right? And you say, okay, I only had 2, but this was my favorite, or I had 3, or I had 4. So some people are here for 3-4 days, and they'll make the round. So it's a pretty much do it at your own pace kind of contest. And there's some good poutine.
Oh, well, I don't know that there's bad poutine, but one thing I wanted to ask you, and I've never taken part in what's called demo days when it's up on the hill and you have, well, you can tell me about it, but I've often wondered, you come to the ski hill to ski with your gear. But what is demo days geared towards somebody that's maybe trying to level up their skis or try something different? How big is the demo days up at Marmot Basin?
Yeah, you know what? Demo days is super popular. Skis aren't cheap, right? So if people are going to invest in skis and they have an opportunity to go up to the area and try on a pair of skis that's kind of for their style, depending on whether they're intermediate, expert, advanced, what have you, and what kind of terrain they like to ski, more groomed or more loose snow, they can try these skis, come back, try another pair, and then they can make a more informed decision. This pair, there's no bad skis out there. It's just what suits that particular individual. So great way to try them without having to buy them.
Well, Brian, we appreciate you coming on the Reid Wilkins Show every week. Have a great rest of your week and into the weekend. I hope you get some snow up there, and we'll chat next week.
You betcha, guys. And what, only 3 goals to go now, or?
Yeah. It's looking ugly.
It's looking ugly. Yeah. Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, guys.
Brian Rode with the Marmot Basin Ski Report. Go to skimarmot.com to check out all their great deals. Yeah, the Oilers are getting throttled here. They started the game with a couple of good chances in the first minute. They have not touched the puck a lot since 8 minutes left in the first. It's 3-0 Pittsburgh. The shots on goal are 10-3 for the Penguins, and the Penguins are playing with more energy than the Oilers. They are usually getting to the puck first. If they are not getting to the puck first, they are winning puck battles or pushing the Oilers off the puck. The last goal the Penguins scored, I mean, the Oilers had it, couldn't get it out. Penguins kept checking, kept it alive, forced it down below the icing line, and eventually got it in front to a wide-open player. I'm not even sure who scored. So domination by the Penguins as Hyman gets a partial breakaway and is stopped, and Draisaitl has scored on the rebound. So the Oilers, that's his 30th, right?
This is really
7:27 left in the first period, and the Oilers are on the board. What? I'm way ahead. Well, what am I going to do? Not tell people what's happening?
Well, I don't know, Reid.
Here comes the goal. Watch on the ESTV. McDavid to Hyman, who wheels in behind the defense. Nedeljkovic with a diving poke check, and the puck bounces in front, and Draisaitl chips in a little backhand to give the Oilers some much-needed life because they have been getting badly beaten in this game. He might have stopped that, actually.
Well,
he
they
might have
did
got a piece of it with his shoulder.
They did start a wave in the nasty chat.
I saw that, which is pretty good.
So maybe that's going to be the just what swings the tides here.
All right, 780-218-9999 is how you text us on the River Cree inbox. If you're in the nasty chat on YouTube, give us a thumbs up as well. You can give us a second thumbs up because if you gave one earlier, we're on a new stream now, so we can get a thumbs up going for that as well, which is pretty fun. Portions of this hour presented by Canadian Brew House. NHL lives at the Canadian Brew House. Every Oilers Game Day, get $1 off tankers of Molson Canadian and Coors Light. You can win game tickets and 2 tickets to a surf and turf dinner at the end of the season. Full details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. All right. Let us do our top 3 presented by Food Sausage. Food Sausages. The best sausages you will ever eat, locally made, packed full of flavor. Order online or visit them in store at 6736 99th Street. Take advantage of our EST discount. That's right, 10% off by entering the online code EST or just mention Edmonton Sports Talk in store as Skinner makes a save on a 2-on-1. As Food Sausage says, you can't beat our meat. So for fun here, because for some reason, I've never been overly fond of the name. The top 3 names they should have named the Penguins. And we got submissions from EST people as well. I have to hand it to Hernan Salas, who very seriously looked at me when he heard this topic being discussed. Like, Hernan looks at me, like, very intensely. And he's like, hey, Reid, I'd like to contribute to that top 3. Oh, can I? Like, okay. He's like, yeah, Reid, I have some names that as the Penguins have scored to make it 4-1, 6:19 left in the first period. It's ugly. And Hernan goes, Steelers or Pirates? I'm like, okay, thanks. Thanks, Hernan. You got me. You got me. That was pretty good. So I understand why they did Penguins. A lot of fans wanted it. It's an icy bird. They could play in the igloo. But who was it, you or Gager, that just said, okay, if they wanted to go with an animal that lives in cold weather, why didn't they go with one that actually is in our hemisphere, the northern hemisphere, the polar bears?
That was my suggestion.
That was yours. The Pittsburgh Polar Bears. Yeah, so this is kind of a combination of people from around the office. Why not the Pittsburgh Polar Bears? You still could have done a lot with the logo. You still could have had fun with it. But it's certainly more menacing than a penguin. You still have the alliteration. And you still could have had them playing in the igloo. Could have you not? Because there are more igloos, I'm pretty sure, in the Arctic than the Antarctic.
Everything's checking out here. I think they really missed the opportunity. Polar bears. That'd be great.
Yeah. I'm also going to suggest, this is another good one, P-word, animal. I don't know if they would have thought of this in the 60s. The puckhounds.
That's an actual animal?
Puckhounds. No, it's a made-up animal.
Oh. I'm thinking, wow, what breed of dog is this? Fetch. Throwing pucks. You know, anybody? Thanks, Zach.
That's pretty good.
Thanks, Zach. Yeah.
That's pretty good. Steel stuff, crushers, girders, stuff like that would be good.
I said Blades.
Pittsburgh Blades. I wonder if there was a team called Blades in another league at that point. Probably, well, not in the NHL. Pittsburgh Blades would have been, I think, wasn't there a Baltimore Blades in the World Hockey Association, which wouldn't have been around when the Penguins joined the league?
I don't know.
I just think, like, even their logo, it's one of those logos, like, it's kind of cute more than fierce. Like, I prefer things that are a little more aggressive looking if I'm going to come up with a logo.
Well, you have the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Pittsburgh Pirates,
and then the Pittsburgh Penguins. Which one of these does not belong?
They don't look cute and soft and cuddly tonight. Tell you that.
No, the Penguins are all over the Oilers. This is not a good game for Edmonton, so they're already, with 5 minutes left in the first period, their 4-game winning streak is hanging by a thread.
After the break. I'll ask you something after the break.
All right, we got the Cube with a sports update. It's the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne.
It's looking like a rough night for the Oilers with the Penguins commanding a 4-1 lead, having 5 minutes left in the first period. And there's 5 other active games around the NHL, including the Stars up 2-0 on the Flyers and the Devils trailing by 1 against the Rangers. In the NBA, we see the Raptors up 33-27 over the Cavs, while the Timberwolves are up 29-18 against the Magic. Both of those games entering the second quarter. And in just a moment, the Orange Bowl gets underway, seeing Notre Dame kick off against Penn State. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring, proudly family owned and operated for 33 years. Paramount Flooring is your full service flooring and tile supplier. Whether you're a homeowner, renovator, or builder, Paramount Flooring provides the flooring to fit your lifestyle and budget. Visit their showroom that's open 7 days a week at 10707 184th Street. Paramount Flooring. Flooring for the life that you live. We have a quick timeout before the Reid Wilkins Show returns here on Edmonton Sports Talk. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers understood.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
All right, Coob, what were you saying about Penguins or the Pittsburgh Penguins?
Well, the Pittsburgh Penguins are quite interesting. Of course, they wanted the alliteration in the name, but at one point they had a mascot, I believe, in the 70s or late 60s called Petey the Penguin or Penguin Pete, and he was the Pittsburgh Penguins' first mascot. He was an Ecuadorian-born Humboldt Penguin on a loan from the Pittsburgh Zoo, and he made appearances out on the ice at what they called the Igloo, where, by the way, penguins don't live in igloos. I just want to point that out. They don't even live in igloos. And eventually he became sick, unfortunately, and passed away due to his presentations on the ice because he was an Ecuadorian-born penguin who wasn't even supposed to live near snow or ice.
So there you go. Thank you for that, Coop. So it's just a flawed team name. Pretty good franchise. Well, they've had some pretty awful times, but they've had obviously 2 runs of Stanley Cup championships as well. 4-1 Penguins leading the Oilers. 2:08 left in the first period as the Penguins have been quicker, more energetic, more physical, better in pretty much every area so far tonight. Leon Draisaitl has Edmonton's only goal. They just showed on Sportsnet McDavid's parents and his wife, Lauren, apparently not enjoying the game. We should mention, Jay, tomorrow night, before the Erie Otters game against the Saginaw Spirit, McDavid's number 97 will be retired.
That one kind of got me by surprise. I'm not going to
That's a junior team. He's not going to ever play for them again.
I'm not saying that. I'm suggesting that what took them so long?
Well, they have to do it in season, and they have to do it when they can comfortably get him there for a game. So I guess Pittsburgh, Chicago, he's able to stop in and have his number retired tomorrow.
Can you do that? Was that in the crease?
For a penalty shot, did Rust put his hand on the puck in the crease?
Do you have to cover it, or can you bat it?
You can bat it, but you can't have your hand on the puck in the crease.
He didn't cover it.
By the way, McDavid's been back with Draisaitl and Hyman.
Nuclear.
And Perry was just out with them as well. So in a game going this poorly, obviously you see the line combinations moving around pretty quickly. All right. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask you something, but I said I'd wait till after the break. What do you like? This game is the equivalent of a 28-7 football game, and you're not even at, early in the second quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that in this game, seeing how they've played thus far, do you think there is any hope of this team coming back and winning this game tonight? I asked Tom the same question.
Oh, why not?
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
A little more optimistic than one Tom Gazzola.
I mean, is it likely? Of course not. They're down 3 goals. I think if it stays 4-1,
would it be unbelievable?
No, it wouldn't be unbelievable at all. No, they're getting badly outplayed. So the way the game flow is going doesn't look good. But if you're asking me, is there a chance? Of course,
no. I didn't ask you if there's a chance. I'm saying it just seems like with hockey in particular, if a team is having an off night like this, it doesn't seem like they can flip a switch and come out of it. Whereas,
no, I see what you're saying. I think they're going to be down 4-1 after the first period, which has ended now. Clearly, they're going to be resetting as best as possible after this period. There's 2-goal comebacks in the NHL no longer shock me. They happen all the time. Once a team gets up by 3, that's a lot tougher. But the advantage for the Oilers is there is 40 minutes left. And if they can win the second period, even by a goal, then you're down 2 going to the third. And then you're thinking, okay, if we get 1 in the first 17 minutes of the third, then we can pull our goalie and try to tie it. So no, if I always try to look at it that way. The game isn't over, but I would definitely sooner be the team with the 3-goal lead than the 3-goal deficit. I think if the Penguins get up 4, then it's over.
Well,
with three after the first period, yes, indicates one team is playing way better than the other. And the Penguins are playing way better than the Oilers tonight. But still, if the Oilers settle down, win the second period, then it's like, okay, then maybe at least they make the third interesting. But Pittsburgh's been better. There's no other way to put it.
Wow. Little TMI, bruh. X-Ray J says he's in the shower.
Little TMI.
Little TMI.
Yeah.
On his second Oilers-sized beard. What's a 710? What is that?
710 milliliter, I think he has.
Is that a tall boy?
The tall boys are 430, aren't they? 450?
So what's a 710? King can.
Oh, it's a King can.
Brandon, you're going.
Brandon,
places,
you're a
buddy.
wealth of knowledge already. That's impressive, buddy. Or do you just know a lot about beer?
Big Uke says Oilers money line now at plus 420.
Put $1 on them.
You riding, Uke? You ride, I ride.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know what my attitude is? To watch the game and see what happens. But clearly, Pittsburgh has been way better. It's not 4-1, and it's like, oh my God, 2 of the Penguins' goals were the weirdest bounces that you'll ever see, and it's just luck. And Edmonton's playing well. Edmonton did not play well in that period. They were beaten.
Fair enough.
Jimbo says, since the game is potentially out of reach, why doesn't Reid take the last 15 minutes to summarize the 1985 classic smash hit Sudden Death, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme? Some other day. Perhaps we'll get into that. That's funny. We got to get into buying or selling for Damon Bunting, a consistent top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or the Instagram handle, Damon Bunting Real Estate. We're also going to give our word of the day. Well, Jay will quiz me with it. What's buying or selling?
I don't have anything.
Oh, you don't have
right
anything
now.
either. I thought we were going to come up with one. Well, I'm buying that I will watch this game to its conclusion. Well, because I always do anyway. I mean, if it was 8-0 Penguins, I would still watch the entire game because part of my job is to watch the Oilers game. I'm buying that. I'm buying that any game in the NHL that is a 3-goal deficit after the first period, is one team has a great advantage, but it is not over. But the game flow in this one is almost all Pittsburgh. That's pretty bad.
It would suggest
it's
otherwise.
good for the Penguins.
Is a 3-goal lead the worst lead to have in hockey? Like by statistically speaking.
No, probably 2 still.
2?
Well, because again, those will get erased all the time. Like it's not. To me, it's no longer shocking if a team comes back from 2 goals down. It's no longer shocking to me if a team comes back from 2 goals down if they're down 2 goals with 6 minutes left. You score 1, pull the goalie, and plus teams pull the goal early now, right? If you happen to earlier now, so if you pull the goalie with 4 minutes left when you're down 2, score right away. You got some momentum. You keep putting the pressure on. I mean, look how many. I know the Oilers have blown some third period leads, but they've had some comebacks and dramatic wins of their own as well. So no, I don't think. I still think 2 goals is the lead that's you're happy with it, but it's a little precarious. I mean, what the Penguins have now is if you're up 3, you still have some room for error, right? Like, if the Penguins come out and stink on the first 2 shifts and get scored on, it's like, okay, let's get it together. We're still up 2. If they come out, if you're up 3-1 and you come out and start a period and you stink and you get scored on, you're like, oh, crap, now they're right there.
Next goal wins?
No, it's not next goal wins. I'm just saying it gets a little tenser.
Give me something, baby. Dudley in the River Cree inbox. This is fantastic. Pittsburgh Miners.
Well, that'd be a good one.
That's great. I like that.
MINERS.
Yeah.
But I bet you they were concerned that it sounds like minor leagues. But yeah.
No, the Pittsburgh MINORS.
Oh, we're all little kids.
Okay, buying or selling. Buying, and I'm talking fast food here.
Okay.
A crunchy chicken burger is better than a good cheeseburger.
Oh, for sure.
You're buying.
Well, I'm not a big fan of cheeseburgers.
Okay.
I don't need cheese on my burger.
Are you more of a hamburger fan?
Yeah, I'm more of a straight up hamburger, and I can
put
some
serious?
stuff on it. Yeah.
You don't go for cheese?
Not necessarily, no.
Have you ever ordered a hamburger at McDonald's?
Probably a long time ago. I don't eat at McDonald's much anymore.
I know. I'm just or A&W. A hamburger. Sans cheese. Sans fromage.
Sorry, say that again?
Have you ordered from A&W a hamburger recently?
No. I've not ordered a hamburger from a fast food outlet recently at all.
But you would order a hamburger?
No, I'd get a chicken burger. I rarely get fast food from like a McDonald's or A&W type place.
Okay, say you're at Mike's, Mr. Mike's.
Okay.
And they have fine, exquisite food. You're ordering a hamburger? If you're in the mood for one, let's say.
Yeah, I'd get a hamburger.
Not a cheeseburger.
No, I would not get a cheeseburger. I would get a hamburger.
This is mind-blowing.
Well, what's mind-blowing about liking a hamburger?
Because cheeseburgers are better.
I don't think so.
Oh, my.
I mean, I've had cheese on burgers, and I like them, but I don't seek out cheeseburgers. I'll happily order a burger without cheese.
What do you prefer? Okay, you're grilling.
Honestly, I'd pick a chicken burger if I was ordering fast food, and I'd get a chicken burger.
Okay, you're grilling in the backyard. You're at Casa de Wilkins.
Yes, I'm making steak then.
This guy. You're forced. I have an allergy issue, and I can only eat burgers.
Okay.
Are you offering cheese on the counter?
Oh, I would offer it for you, yes. I would ask anybody if they wanted cheese.
But you would.
Mine, I would make without cheese, and I'd put.
You would hold the cheese on yours.
I'd put my own dressing on it, or my own accoutrements.
It is a chicken burger. They're called chicken burgers, right? A chicken inside a hamburger bun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if it's breaded. That's a chicken burger, not a chicken sandwich.
Okay, we got to do the word of the day. We did get.
Where did that come from? Like, have you never heard anybody that likes a hamburger before?
I think it's odd
that I like hamburgers.
You prefer hamburgers over cheeseburgers? Yes, I hand up.
I think a lot of people would take a hamburger over a cheeseburger.
100%
not care.
No way.
Or not care.
Yes, care. That's Brendan.
Okay, so do you put tomatoes on your burger?
Sometimes.
Well, how do you not put tomatoes on? That's a burger.
I don't know. We'll have to get into this. This is This is interesting. To me. I don't know why you wouldn't have cheese on your burger. Melted, gooey goodness? Come on.
All right, what's the word of the day?
It's time for the word of the day.
CHEESE.
Brought to you by Brendan. Until we get this spot partnered up, it's going to be brought to us by Brendan. Resplendent.
Okay, resplendent is RESPLENDENT, and I believe it's kind of looking glorious or well presented, as in the Coob looks resplendent in his Edmonton Sports Talk hat.
You are 2 for 2. Resplendent was spelt correctly. Resplendent to mean shining brilliantly and or gleaming. From the Latin word resplendor, meaning to shine brightly, related to the word splendor, the mountain peaks were resplendent with freshly fallen snow.
Yeah.
Good job, Reid.
Well, thank you. I'm not as dumb as I look.
I didn't say that.
No one could be that dumb.
Well, we're going to talk about this cheese thing another time.
There's nothing to talk about.
Oh,
it's
there's a
very
lot.
Common
There's
to
a lot to
It's very
unpack here.
common to like a hamburger.
There's a lot
It's
to
very
unpack.
common to like a hamburger. It's very, very common, Jay.
We'll find out.
Very common to like a hamburger.
If you poll...
You don't know anybody that likes hamburgers.
That's it. I'm serious.
Well, a cheeseburger is a type of hamburger, first of all.
Yes, it is.
Hamburger is the overarching thing.
Of course.
Right. So do you want cheese on your burger? I would generally say no to that if I had a choice.
I
like
know.
things simple. All right, Oilers are down 4-1 to the Penguins after the first period, getting badly outplayed by the Icebirds so far this evening. Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas will be on with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show at the conclusion of the game. Then we have more live programming at 6 in the morning with the Nielsen Show. The Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne will be back at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. On behalf of the Coob and the Glue Guy, I'm Reid. Thanks for listening.
Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Make a fresh start in the new year with Sentinel Storage. With convenient locations near you, Sentinel Storage is here to help you make space for everything 2024 holds. Sentinel Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the association, Formula One, soccer, golf. Oh, sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.
Book your holiday party at the CBH today. The Canadian Brewhouse is your ultimate destination for events, parties, fundraisers, and more. 'Tis the season to celebrate. Visit and book now in-store or at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
When I'm up, I can't get down, can't get down, can't get level.
Don't miss Canadian singer-songwriter Alan Doyle as he brings the East to the West, January 17th.
I said, hey, 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 it's just an ordinary day, and It's all your state of mind.
Get your tickets at River Cree Resort and Casino. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement, bet on it.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the association, Formula One, soccer, golf, oh sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.